until I tell you to do so. Keep the gap to the car ahead small. You can sit side by side with the car on your row. It's too wide, and pit limiters only.
All right, thanks for that, Anthony. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Brickyard, the most famous racetrack in the world for the inaugural SRL Indianapolis 250. We're fresh off the back of the Italian Formula 3's conclusion, and we now move to the most anticipated event in this championship's history, and for good reason. In real life, this event is one of the three parts of the motorsport Triple Crown. Here, for now, it's for nothing more than the biggest bragging rights imaginable for a sim racer. The 2.5 mile or 5 kilometer long speedway consists of 4 turns, each banked at 9.2 degrees to add just that little bit more challenge for
if you did not have your grid set, please type it in chat so we can set it quickly. And other than that, that's it. Good luck. No chatting in the race. The only chatting will be done from me. In case you didn't see a blue flag, please watch out if there's a faster car behind you and let them go at the next safe spot. Straight, please. Thank you.
Actually, Nick one just going over the orders for drivers. Anyway, my name is James Smith, as usual, and today I'm joined for his first appearance since we've moved to R Factor 2 on the cameras and alongside me in the commentary box. What a fitting way to make your introduction. It's Jacob Reed. How are you doing, Jacob?
Hi, I'm doing very good, and I think we're in for a very eventful 250 miles, 100 laps of this amazing circuit. So yeah, really looking forward to it, and we should be getting into the race pretty quickly here.
Yeah. Of course, this track hosts the Indy 500. It's hosted 104 times.
Don't worry about it.
And it also hosts the Brickyard 400,
to the grid
which it's hosted
with no damage.
A little less times, but still.
Just escape and press race again. Do not go until I say so, even once the lights are out. Thank you.
Still a considerable amount of times that it's done so. Now, the big talking point since qualifying has been that Sean Jones has put his car on pole position. He was nowhere, no offence to him, in SRL Italian Formula 3, but he's plopped his car on pole. Alongside him on the front row is Ruben Martin, who did not take part in the SRL Italian Formula 3, so we have quite an unusual front row. Fifth on the grid, Jürgen van Bergen. Sixth, Carl Magnus Boret. Alessandro Valente in 7th, and Indrik Rimitz, he was a regular in the top 10 in this season, in 8th. 9th is Marcus Fernandez, 10th is Albert Blanc, 11th Joe Gordis, and 12th Wesley Burkhardt. He's actually, I'm going to tip Wesley Burkhardt to win this race. Jacob, I'll ask you your opinion when we're done with the grid. 13th, Massi Riboli in the other Vale Esports car. Diogo Moscato is 14th in his AFP. Danny van der Neer in the Netrex is 15th place. He'll be disappointed with that, particularly with how fast he's been in previous categories.
The board start session will be restarted.
Races, and we have an aborted start. So someone has not made it to the grid, or something has gone wrong there, because we have had to restart the session, which means another tedious lap or two going around this track, waiting for the lights.
Going again, please. This time, leader, do not go until I say so.
That was a problem with Sean going early. Now, Jacob, if anyone has experience with going, well, these kind of 3 wide starts, it'd be you. What's it like? How different is it to a 2 wide start that we're used to?
Well, it's pretty much the same. You just, by the time you get to turn 1, because you end up so spread out anyway. By the time you're in turn 1, it's pretty much single file throughout the entire field, maybe 2 wide. You're never really 3 wide into turn 1, so it's not really something you worry about. You just worry about keeping your car clean through the first few corners. Okay. And that's something that these drivers are really gonna probably struggle with, I think, is they're gonna be quite shocked going into turn 1 that they might not have as much downforce as they did during warm-up and qualifying.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, how many cautions do you think we're going to have? And I dare say it, we might well need a restart here, because, as you said, coming into the first corner, it's not quite
moving to race
session.
You shortly, be ready, drivers.
Someone does something a bit silly, and we might end up with a restart then. How many cautions do you think we'll have this race? We have 100 laps after all.
Yeah, so 100 laps, I could see 10 cautions.
10 cautions, whoa.
I've been in a couple of Indianapolis 250s which have had about 75% of the race under caution.
Wow.
So hopefully we don't get anything that extreme. Hopefully all these guys are pretty calm and sensible.
Yeah.
You never know. It's very easy because obviously you run wide a little bit.
Now, please
If you
do
run
not
wide a
go
little bit,
until I
you
say
just
so. Thank
you're in the wall. So
You're in trouble, yeah.
yeah. So you've got a lot of danger, and once one person spins, that's 32 cars that are going to be heading right for them.
Yeah, very high speed as well. That's the thing about ovals. It's very high
Race
speed. It's
start
very close
aborted
amongst
again
the
for a
drivers.
minute due to our factor 2 not saving grid
And
slots. Please do not
there's
leave
no
the
runoff
session now,
either.
and
It's a
please listen
wall
this
if you
time,
go
so we
wide
do not have to
or
go through
miss
this
your
again
turning
and delay.
point or
Thank
anything
you.
like that. And we have another aborted start. This time it's an R factor 2 server problem. Hopefully, we will get this race underway eventually. Hopefully, just bear with us for the time being. It gives us more time to talk about the race upcoming ahead of us. I'm going to be optimistic and say only 5 cautions. Only 5 cautions. Because I think race director Anthony Nickman's going to be quite strict about what caution's going to be. It's going to need to be quite a big incident, I think, to trigger one. Because if someone spins off, but they pick themselves up, they get going again, then there's not really any reason to call a caution, I think. But we'll see. It's up to him in the end. And as for race winner, who is your money on?
Well, Sean Jones looks pretty good. Obviously getting pole. There's the usual front runners that haven't qualified too well, like Wesley Burkout, Noah Voivers, and the rest of the Netrex guys, Danny Van Der Neet. They're a very experienced team. They're running some of their drivers in the FSR Indy Pro Series, which is lots of the best drivers, so they're going to have been doing lots of practice of ovals, especially recently. So they're going to probably know maybe a little bit more on the strategy side than some of these other drivers that might have qualified well, and just kind of wing the strategy and hope that it's correct. And strategy is very important on an oval race.
It is, yeah, especially with how much time you lose in the pits, because it's practically the whole straight is the pit lane, and you have to take that entry line, which is also going to cost you a bit of time. But yeah, I think maybe, is there a bit of strategy in qualifying lower down the order, like Wesley and the Netrexes have done? Is that a bit of a strategic call? Maybe get a slipstream coming into the first corner, or anticipating Rex up ahead. I don't know.
If you start first, then you're in front of
race.
everyone else, which means you're less likely to crash. So I would say no. You want to get as far up the grid as possible. You either want to be first or last.
Do not start the race until I say so. Thank you.
That's the last, okay. Well, I mean, that pretty much goes with any form of racing, whether it's cars, horses, or whatever you want. But yeah, I would probably going to have a caution in the first few laps, or indeed a race restart. I still think Wes is going to come through and win this race with his experience and his calm, collected head under heavy circumstances of pressure. But you were talking about how established Netrex are. I mean, they dominated in Formula 3. It took them.
Please wait, even after the lights go out.
It took them the whole. It took them 5 races to win the championship, but I mean, they needed a couple
leader,
of points.
You may now start at
from
pit
the
limiter. Double file everyone.
They needed a couple of points from the last race to win the championship. It was pretty much sealed. Same for the drivers. So here's another look through the order. If you missed it the first time, Sean Jones, remarkably, I think he's probably one of the last people we expected to
don't overtake, please.
place his car on pole position.
Your files, please. Ruben, move up to P2, please.
But so is that it has come to be. There's your man Wesley Burkout starting 12th and number 4 Valikov, as he finished 4th in the championship in time form 3, hence his number. Siriboli in the number 6 in the other Valikov. Those two Valis are yeah, if you're starting with another teammate, is there anything you can do as teammates to get yourself up the order here?
The race start, you will
yes, definitely. So with this kind of error package of the Dallara DW12, you can kind of do a leapfrog between 2 cars. So you have basically the car in front will just let the car behind go when they pull alongside each other going into turn 1, and then every lap they just swap. You save fuel, and because you're slipstreaming each other, you just go faster. So that's a strategy that I think all the drivers are gonna be trying to figure out during the race. They might not know it yet, but soon they will definitely realize that this is faster, and they're gonna try and do it.
Yeah, fuel's critical as well. You were mentioning fuel. That's going to probably be the thing that defines whether you win this race or not. The fuel. Tires take a bit of a hammering around here, so especially the right tires, because you're turning left the whole time. You've got 2 1 mile. How long are they? 3/4, 1 mile. The straights around here. The whole track's 2.5 miles.
It's 1 mile straight.
1 mile per straight, yeah. So that's 1 mile. Twice a lap for those tyres to take a break from being tortured around this track. We're still on the formation lap here, or coming through the last
Okay,
corner.
leader, you may start to accelerate and go green flag when you are ready.
And
Green
Sean
flag,
has decided to
green
go
flag.
immediately, so we are underway. The green flag is waved for the inaugural SRL Indy 250, and the top 2 have absolutely flown away from the rest of the pack.
That's an
Sean
incredible
Jones-
start from
Yeah,
Sean Jones.
Incredible from
And
Sean and the car behind him.
yeah, that's Sven Goethold, who started 3rd. Just complete. Oh, Sean gets a little bit of wobble into turn 1.
Sven. No, Sven backs out of that one, yeah, because you've got this massive straight hit to get a slipstream. Right behind, well, not right behind, they're about a second behind
Crash in the
already.
background somewhere. Someone's
Someone
lost a
has
wing.
crashed
It
in the
seemed pretty
background.
minor.
Side by side between the 2 non-T cars.
Oh, that's a big
huge
crash.
Actually, that is enormous. That's a
Full
massive
course yellow
accident
at
through
the
turn
light
1
up
and
the
coming
light,
into
full
turn
course
2, and
yellow.
we have caution. I think quite unsurprisingly, that looked absolutely huge. Smoke, everyone on the AFP's involved. That's without a front wing, and looks like left front suspension damage there.
Full course yellow.
And we have a
is
full course
now
yellow, yeah. Caution.
enforced with.
Try and see a replay of
Ruben
what's
as the
happened
leader.
here.
Please keep your positions and no overtaking. Pits are open as always.
Replay doesn't seem to be working like that, but yeah, some
Nah.
imbalance of heavy damage to the left side of the car. Well, it looks like, I think he's probably the last one that's kept going, so we have
Pit
3
limiters,
people
remember.
already out of the race,
Pit
and we have
limiters,
a
leader, please
penalty
slow down and wait
assigned
for
to Savage Suntake, so he's probably the one responsible for that massive accident. Diogo Moscato's leapfrogged all the way from the, I think it was the 5th row of the grid, up to 5th position already. We've got an AFP stopped at the side of the road there. That was absolute chaos in the background. So yeah, it seems that starting in the mid-pack was a risk, and that's very much highlighted. And you can see them trying to cast it. Oh, someone's missed their breaking point there.
Yeah, I
Some
don't know
tires trying
what
to slow it down.
Savage is doing right now. I guess he was trying to catch up, and there were some damaged cars, but it seemed like it's interesting. A little bit confused there. I'm trying to figure out how to get a replay, and we can try and see what happens.
I think it's best not to. The last time we tried it 3 weeks ago, it didn't work out any time. So I think it's best we leave it at that. Yeah, a lot of cars already in the pits. And this Lapin's one of the casualties on the first lap.
During the race. Next one will be
Anthony's not happy that people are chatting. He's never been a man to promote it. So Mohammed was also taken out. So 2 very fast drivers, both taken out of the race at the opening corner. And well, that's the dangers of not having a good qualifying. You'd see the cars in the pits already being
we'll be
overtaken
going
here.
At the end of lap 4.
And we have another penalty, this time awarded to Menno Dehaan. So Menno Dehaan and Cyrus Suntake both getting penalties, so they probably both played a huge role in that first corner pile-up.
So
to stop in the very last
that's
place.
Sean Jones, who's lost his front wing somewhere.
Jones. So Jones has lost his front. I thought that was one of the lower down AFPs, but no, that was our pole sitter, that was our race leader when the caution was called, and he's coming to the pits, and there go all the positions that he would be in front of if that front wing was still on. There's something's gone wrong, because I think he still had his front wing on when caution was called. So something has happened.
I'm not quite sure. I think he's may have done a James Hinchcliffe here and lost his front wing under caution.
He might well have done. I don't know if he's collected anyone else and really done a Hinchcliffe.
No one else seemed to be in the pit lane, so...
Now, these guys can go faster coming out of pit road and gain a few positions, but Jones has got a car ahead of him who is not looking like he wants to speed up at all coming out of the pits. Now, the pit lane here at the Brickyard, it cuts... The entrance is on the inside of turns 3 and 4. It cuts those corners, but it's slower because, again, it's very narrow There's grass awaiting if you go wide, and then you have to go round again for another lap. So it's slower, and then on the exit, you cut the first 2 corners again. But
Chris,
you're
you may unlap yourself.
You're accelerating from
you may go full speed
whatever
as
the
well.
pit speed is to full speed. When the car's blasting past you at 200 miles an hour, just confirmation of the penalty assigned to Menahan. So now Sven Gillard, who started third, was battling for the lead. He's down to 5th. So I fear that those guys might well have hit each other.
Yeah, I think it's some detective work, and that seems to be correct. So yeah, Ruben Martin is going to lead the field to the green flag for lap 4, because we're 1 lap off due to the formation lap technically counting as a lap.
Yeah. We have 100 laps of official racing and 1 lap of driving around, slowly warming those tyres up, trying to get the start. And Gillard and Jones certainly warmed up the tyres because they shot away at the start. I've never seen, real life or sim, I've never seen 2 guys pull away from the pack so quickly. Anyway, in any race,
that was an interesting start. I'm not quite sure if it was just Sean getting a really good one, or someone else just getting whoever was P2. I can't quite remember now, but just was napping. I have no idea.
Yeah, it's Ruben Martin leading from Valente in 2nd, Diogo Moscato 3rd, Albert Blanc, maybe lose my voice a few weeks ago, in 4th. Had Sven Gillard right on the top 5, and I think this will probably be the last lap under caution now for these guys. They have to trickle around so slowly, and it gives people like Chris de Jong a chance to unlap themselves. But this is only going to add to the tension because we've had not even a full lap of green flag racing, and these guys are not really weaving around much, getting temperature into those tires, or brakes if they're needed, especially for the guys further back. If an accident happens up ahead, you're certainly going to need to stamp on the brakes, otherwise you're not really using them on ovals. Viktor Ivanov, still 17th, didn't qualify well. I think it was 21st he qualified. He's only gained 4 positions in that start.
Catch up to the back quickly.
Yeah, and that's an order from Anthony telling the guys who fell behind at the start
Samuel,
because they pitted
please
or
do not type in chat,
whatever
especially if you're DNF.
to catch up to the pack. Samuel Ballots gets a warning for typing in chat. And all those cars on formation on the back straight. Looks for quite a nice picture, I must say.
Yeah, so 7 less cars than we started with, though. Started with 32, we now have 25. 25 cars left in this race already, only on lap 4, so we're going to come to lap 5 here, and yeah, going to go back to green flag, and hopefully this time we get through turn 1 cleanly.
Yeah, your prediction of at least 10 cautions looks much more reasonable than my prediction of 5 cautions that we made at the start, especially considering how this has gone. But already 7 DNFs from the start, and the call has been made. The leader now has control over the pack. He can go whenever he wants, and everyone else has to then react to it. And he's gone. There he goes. It's a great restart from Ruben Martin there. Alessandro Valente had no answer, but now down towards the first corner, slipstreaming. It's chaos in the back, but there might be a move for 2nd place as Moscato's AFP tries to pass Valente, but no, hangs back for the time being. So the top 3 have bolted away from the rest, and now we're going to look for the midfield. Is anyone going to make contact? No, everybody's safely through the first corner this time. The 2 valleys right with each other, trying to find a move on the Netrex up ahead. Everyone's safely through turn 2 as well. Oh, brush with the wall there from one of the valleys on the exit of the corner. And here we're looking side by side between the 2 teammates coming into the first corner. They've got 2 cars right ahead of them as well. And trying to poke his car through the middle there is Wesley Burkout, trying to get the gap to the Netrex, but he can't find it. Now trying to go around the side. His cars are so fast around the Brickyard here, absolutely flying through these corners, and we have now completed 1 full lap of green flag racing with no interruption, which is the first time that's happened, and we are on lap 6. Albert Blanc has set the fastest lap of the race. He's caught up to those front guys rather quickly, and Valente has taken the lead now from Ruben Martin. Leonov is up to 6th place already, having had such a terrible qualifying. And here we have a move for the lead. Valente under pressure from Ruben Martin. Martin's trying to regain that lead that he lost off camera, and he's not quite able to do so.
I'm surprised they're fighting. I would have thought they would leapfrog, like I said in the pre-race, and just swap between each other, and they'll just pull right away from the cars behind immediately.
I would think so too. They're completely side by side now into the first corner. They're still fighting. They clearly haven't been listening to you, because here they go again, and now they're being caught not just by Moscato behind, but he's got 2 cars behind him as well. Albert Blanc and Ivan Leonov, who is not someone you want to see in your mirrors, and not far behind is Danny Van Der Neer, who's also made... Sorry, no, it's not Van Der Neer, it's Carlos Martin, who's made a sensational start from where he starts. Oh, and they make contact there, the 2 leaders, and wide.
Oh, and in the wall goes Martin.
Yeah, Martin's gone in. He's gone so wide. He's been overtaken now by 2, 3 cars. There might be 4 on the exit if he's not careful. And through indeed does go.
He's down to
Martin.
P6, I think.
6th. He's down to 6th. Yeah, and Martin's picked up another place.
Chris, if you have 3 wheels, please retire the car.
So Chris de Jong has 3 wheels, so he's going to have to retire from this race. Gillehode and Martin, 5th and 6th at the moment. I think that's wrong, actually. I think Martin's gone up ahead, or someone in front is lapped. But Valente, who leads after that battle with Ruben Martin, and Martin coming off really badly and then dropping all the way down to 6th place. And in fact, no, it's Ivan Leonov instead of Carlos Martin. Martin is the car behind these guys. That's a mistake on my end. Still looking at the guys at the front.
Blanc's past Moscato now for P2. So we've got kind of Blanc to Carlos Martin. It's just one big train.
Fastest lap. Speaking of Martin, there you go. His fastest lap.
Yeah, he's at the back of this and just sailing in the slipstream and getting faster, saving fuel. I think he's gonna be just cautious and try and stay out as long as... Oh, as I say that, it's 3 wide. It's 3 wide back there.
Yeah, 3 wide.
Yeah, he's gonna be cautious and go 3 wide down into turn 3, passing both Ruben Martin and Sven Gilhood. So great move. Oh, I think that was Sven getting a little bit of a wiggle out of turn 3 there.
He's getting sideways. That was a wonderful overtake from Carlos Martin, the SRL Italian Free Champion.
Danny Van Der Neet's now going to go 3 wide with Delgado and Gilhood. No, so Sven is dropping back. I don't know what's happening. I think Sven might have damage.
He's been given a penalty for that incident with Ruben Martin, so that was quick. So he's, I guess, been deemed to have pushed his rival off the track or off the racing line significantly enough to warrant a penalty. So our current race leader hit with a penalty on lap 10 of 100 at the Brickyard. We are 1/10 of the way through this race, and we only have 1 caution so far, and this is a look now at Carlos Martin as he overtakes Diogo Moscato. He's up into the top 5. Martin's got back past him, but how long for? Because right behind him is that Netrex as they fly through turn 4 and onto the start-finish straight. They passed the Pagoda, completed in 2000. And now down the inside does go the Netrex car of Carlos Martin, and I think he's going to pull this one off. Yes, he does. Carlos Martin moves into the top 4 for the first time this afternoon with a lovely pass down the inside at turn 1. Moscato under pressure from behind as well. And Sven Gilehode...
Yeah, he's in the pits. So I said last lap that he might have damage, so... Because he was dropping back fast, so I think he's got damage and he's coming in to repair it, which is a big sacrifice. He's going to be a lap down by the time he exits the pits here.
At least a lap down, yeah, depending how bad the damage is as well.
Oh, big crash!
A spectacular accident in the background. Who is that guy?
Huge, massive accident.
Huge accident. That's absolutely enormous. That's one of the Netrex cars barrel rolling its way down the straight.
There was at least 3 or 4 cars upside down.
That is absolutely huge. That's not what we want to see. That car is still moving. I think that was one of the Santons involved in the background there. And if we can...
Full course yellow.
And we have a full course yellow, unsurprising. So this has already happened. Oh my goodness me. The AFP car unsighted straight into... I don't know who that was. One of the... There's the Santon. Yeah, so it was a Santon who initially was involved and is on fire and out of the race. I think it's Denahan. The AFP's continue. Look at the damage to the suspension as well on that car. That is an enormous amount.
That was Alex Hallows.
This is Alex Hallows, who is limping back to the pits. And we're just seeing a replay of it again. I think that might have actually been 2 separate incidents there. Because,
that was 2. I think that was one incident causing another incident.
We saw the Santon in midair. We cut away from it. And then we saw another accident unfolding behind. So they might actually have been unrelated. We'll see. The Netrex absolutely flew. So let's have a look again. So Hallows is the one who's gone into the car. Let's see. So Denahan's upside down up ahead. Oh no, these look related. Yeah, they are related. So this has happened.
So this happened all the way from turn 3.
This has happened a long time ago. So this is the.
This is, I think, Moscato.
This is Moscato. Yeah, this is Moscato side by side. And they have a touch, and he goes into the air, and it's Mario Delgado who's fighting with Moscato. Goes into the grass on the inside.
He clips Danahan. Danahan flips, bounces off the catch fence, back into the track, and along comes Alex Hallows, who's just hoping that he can go underneath, and gets absolutely destroyed. Hallows into the catch fence as well.
Well, the Netrex, I think, got into a collision with Danahan up ahead.
Yes, so then the Netrex hits Danahan.
Absolutely enormous accident. That's the dangers. That's the high speed.
Yeah, that was indirect for Rimitz in the Netrex.
Yeah, Rimitz.
Menno and Harry, you may unlap.
Rimitz was given the chance by Netrex this race, rightfully so, and he's unfortunately been robbed of what was looking to be a good result. So our second caution
drivers on the lead
on lap 13, with one of the biggest crashes I've seen in my entire life. Rimitz is still in the box, and here they come now down the straight.
We'll be going at the end of lap 14.
So lap 14 has been chosen as the lap where racing will resume, the end of lap 14. Mario Delgado is furious in the stream chat about that. Retired on the spot, basically.
Yeah, well,
I've never seen that car flip so many
all
times.
those cars were destroyed.
That has meant is that everyone behind them, however, has gained positions, such as Danny van der Neer, who is one of the other Netrexes. Riboli's up to 8th. Jones has recovered from 21st all the way up to 9th.
Yeah,
so he is showing his pace.
Yeah, so he was in the he was around that accident. He was those positions beforehand, so he's probably gained the most from that accident because he was probably maybe the car right behind that, and he's just got through that, and
you've gained massively. If you're ahead of two of them, well, you still gained a couple of positions, which could prove vital. Now, remember, Alessandro Valente has a penalty, so Ivan Leonov is the effective race leader, but he's got Carlos Martin right behind him. So Leonov and Martin both qualified outside the top 20 and find themselves second and third, which goes to show how crazy these races can be. Your race can go from hopeless to very hopeful in a matter of laps, and there's 100 of them.
Menno,
so you can imagine how topsy-turvy things are. We are going at the end of this lap, so that's why everyone's weaving around so much on this straight, trying to get temperature into those tyres, not so much into the brakes as they're not as essential. It's especially that right front that needs the ideal temperature, not too hot so that it immediately overheats, and not too cold so that you have no grip and understeer into turn 1. Watch out for Van der Neer, Ivanov and Riboli in 6th, 7th and 8th. All three of them very fast drivers, and even behind them, it's competitive as well.
Menno,
Jones in 9th, Coleman, of course. Delgado is 10th.
Please
Wesley
continue
Burkhout
going
is
so
still
you don't
12th, where he qualified.
You will be
But he's kept
penalized
out
post-race.
of trouble, at least on camera, for the time being. Santaka is now retired. Albert Blanca's retired. So I think he was probably the car was battling with Moscato who got involved in that accident. But anyway, we're out of the last corner.
And green flag soon.
So Anthony,
I thought Anthony called it, but
our race leader to get this race back underway.
And now goes Valente. So Valente's gone green.
No, we have. I think we've gone to green flag racing. I haven't heard anything in my ear from Nick Prom, but we've gone to green flag racing. We're underway once again. The third time's a charm, hopefully, through the first couple of corners. The cars come now as they rock past this camera. Everyone's through the first corner, nice and safely. A couple of guys going very slowly off the exit of the corner, though. Here is a look now at a side-by-side moment. This is a pack right here. It's almost 4 wide. We're going 4 wide coming into turn 3 here. AFP on the inside.
That's Moscato and the AFP
on the outside, and the Valleys and Nebrex is hanging at the back. And the AFP
and Moscato's overtaken about 5 cars between turn 2 and turn 3.
From 9th, that is a fantastic.
No, Sean Jones is ahead of us. This is Moscato.
From Sean Jones, and he's rewarded his risk, and he's up into 6th place as they're dueling for 3rd up ahead between Leonov and Martin. But that was probably the move of the race so far, Jacob. Absolutely sensational.
Yeah, that was not Sean Jones. That was Moscato. Sean Jones is the car kind of in front of this train.
Yeah, now they thunder down the straight. Once again, Ivanov was dropped from 3rd down to 8th place now. And looking at him right here, this is not what he needed in this race, not at all. So he had a really bad restart, and he's either gone wide or been simply just out-dragged by everyone down the straight. Look how far up ahead where the leaders are. That's where he was a couple of laps ago, and now finds himself all the way down here. Is Diogo Moscato going side by side of his teammate? If he's sensible, he won't fight him.
Yeah, so Moscato passes Sean Jones.
That's Ivanov getting past
Jones is dropping back
car
now.
that I can't quite spot who it is.
I don't know what's happened.
Now he's under pressure as well from Wesley Burkout behind. They're side by side there, and Burkout's got the inside. He's going to pull it off. Might go for 2 here. Wesley Burkout down the inside, and he's going to take that position. Brilliant from Burkout, moving himself up to another place. I told you to watch out for him. He's up from 12th now, up to 9th.
Yeah, so little by little, moving up. But yeah, Sean Jones has gone from 6th to 11th in about a lap there, so I'm not quite sure what's happening to him. Obviously you were saying that he's done an impressive job.
I'm having a small technical difficulty with Jacob in the sense that I cannot hear him as it is now. I don't know if the stream can hear him, but I cannot. So I'm going off the basis of if his TeamSpeak button illuminates a light blue from a dark blue. But nonetheless, the race will go on despite our difficulties. We are looking again at Wesley Burkout up to 9th, right behind the car up ahead. Might have a go into the first corner as well.
Hey, wake up.
Oh, and that's off, I think, for Burkout's gone off there. Having had contact, he's come back up to racing speed now, through behind, goes Barros, and he's overtaken Burkout as well. So down to 10th goes the Violet car. So I don't know what's happened to him, but he must have gone into a collision with the car he was fighting with, because he's dropped the place there.
Everyone seems to be spreading out just a little bit. Now
I got you back, Jacob.
Ah, okay. I'm not quite sure what's happening. I think my computer is struggling just a little bit. We seem to be running at half speed on the stream, so a couple of technical difficulties.
We'll try and get them resolved as quickly as you can. Of course, we still have the action unfolding on the screen. Not as we want it, though, but nonetheless, it's action. It's entertainment. Currently still in this race is Alessandro Valente. He's led the entirety of the race, but he does have a penalty for punting Ruben Martin, I'd say, slightly off the racing line. It cost him 4 positions in the end, Martin, and it's warranted a penalty. Right behind him, Carlos Martin. Ivan Leonov up to 3rd. Ruben Martin, the man who was taken out by Valente, is in 4th, and rounding out the top 5 is Danny Van Der Neer. Sean Jones, by the way, has dropped all the way down to 16th place.
Yeah, I think he's got damage. That's what I was trying to tell you about when you couldn't hear me, was that Sean Jones he had dropped from about 6th to 11th in 1 lap, so I assume he might have tapped the ball, and he's a lap down, so I assume that he's now pitted for damage.
Yeah, so but that goes to show how many cars have pitted, how many have gone a lap down, how many have been caught up and into the side-by-side right behind.
That's Ivanov passing Moscato.
Yeah, Moscato's been a sitting duck this entire race by the looks of it, and there goes another one past him. This time it's an Etrex, and that normally means you're not getting that position back from him. At least not usually. You're on board now with Diogo Moscato, because this is going to give you a feel of just how fast these cars are in the slipstream of Ivanov coming into turn 3. If he's sensible, he'll just back off and wait for it into turn 1 again.
Massive left into turn 3. No need to... I think Moscato's just kind of sitting, because he's dropping back, so I feel like he's running his own race and letting other people pass him and just just keeping it clean, because obviously he was involved in that accident beforehand, the massive one. So I think he's kind of realised that he's got very lucky.
He's very much playing cat and mouse with the walls here.
Yeah.
And a bit of a slide there, and he's going to be under pressure now. This is surely it for him.
So maybe he had got damage in that previous work. We've got, I think, Van der Neat passing Leonov up front as well. So, yeah, Ruben Martin, sorry.
He passes Ruben Martin.
Oh, and Moscato just hit the wall. So
Moscato has hit the wall.
As you were saying,
was he heading for pit road there? No, he's carrying on.
So
it's too late to pit.
Yeah, he's got damage, so because he's dropping back, so he's definitely got damage, and he's definitely going to need to probably just pit, just like Sean Jones did. It's a massive sacrifice. You go a lap down, but it's better than crashing again. So we'll have to see what Moscato does, whether he tries to hold on, because there's a massive gap to P. Oh, and well, he's crashed. So yeah,
he's
just
crashed,
like I said,
he's crashed big time, and he spins on the back straight coming off turn 2. This might be.
And he's going to collect anyone?
No,
everyone avoids him.
Quite sensibly, created a bit of a smoke dream, but everyone got through. So if he wasn't going to head for the pits, he certainly is now. That's a huge amount of damage on the car. You could see he's fighting the steering, trying to get it to go where he wants. He's struggling.
Yeah, so he's going to take the excess road, keep off the road, and I don't know. I don't know why he's trying to stay on the track here. He should get on the access road.
What's he doing? He should. I think maybe he's going to pit coming off the start finish.
Yeah, but he's now in the way.
Which is illegal.
But luckily, and yeah, that's what happens. That's what happens.
That's exactly why you take the normal road and slow down. And now he's riding that wall, and he's
luckily he's spun off the track. So
he's spun off the track now, fortunately, just as the leader is coming through.
He's escaped. So Moscato's the next retirement. So I think we're down to 16 cars now.
Well, that escalated
so
very
half
quickly.
the field is retired by lap 28.
Already retired, yeah. On lap 27 of 100.
Yeah.
I was going to suggest that maybe Moscato had a problem with the fuel, but that was quickly ruled out. And correctly, as you said, he must have had damage, which then got worse. Don't think this was part of the plan. Oh no, we skipped back forward. There we go.
Yeah, so a couple of technical issues, which seems to involve it accidentally going into replay mode and running at half speed. So
it wouldn't be.
We're now back to live, and it looks like an overtake up ahead as well, or maybe that was someone getting lapped, because I don't think any. Yeah, this is the leader, so no one's...
This is the leader,
that was a lap car.
This is the top 3, line astern. Valente still leads, but Martin and Ivanov, I'm sure, are aware of the fact that the car leading this race has a penalty, which will drop in behind both of them. So this is going to very much play out in terms of the strategy. It's going to be fascinating to see what these guys do. If they all end up going for the same strategy, that will be quite anticlimactic, but I don't think they will, because...
Ruben Martin has pit.
Martin's pitted from 4th, so he's going for an undercut of some sorts, getting some fresh tyres on.
So I'm going to assume that he's not pitted yet, which would mean that this is almost right. Maybe a couple of laps short, but the number is about right, I think.
Yeah. And he's rejoined just behind...
In traffic.
He's rejoined in... I think he's allowed down.
Yeah, he's allowed down, but he's just going to sit in this train, which that might help.
This is traffic. This is for position, I think. That's Riboli in 12th. That's Riboli 12th, and Menaderhan 13th. So he's rejoined 14th, and right behind him is Sven Gilliho.
This is Riboli in turn 3.
Oh, this is Riboli, my bad. So yeah, it is traffic then.
Yeah.
Or more correct, I should say, cars he's not fighting on track.
Yeah,
I think behind is a battle, though. Sven Gilliho is right behind him. But anyway, back towards the front.
These guys have a 10-second lead over Danny Van der Neat in P4, so these guys have been either saving less fuel or just doing the corners cleaner, not being in... Because I think Valente's led this entire since the restart, so they've not been fighting each other.
Yep, but you can never rule a net wrecks out. That's the number 1 rule, I guess. So Van der Neer, he's 10 seconds behind on an oval. That's a long time to make up, especially with no slipstream. These guys having the slipstream when the cars ahead. If you are just joined us, thanks for tuning in. Feel free to follow us on social media at SRL Racing League on Twitter. posting regularly on there. We have 70 laps, 69 laps remaining of the inaugural SRL Indy 250, 100 laps, 250 miles of the most famous, I'd say certainly oval in the world, maybe even the most famous racetrack. And the battle for the lead, they're catching up to traffic now. And it's traffic they're catching up. Just as I thought that Martin was going to be close enough for a move into turn 3, but not quite, because he was really close to Valente coming into the first corner. I thought if he could stick with him, he'd go for it into turn 3, but then he backed off.
Yeah, I think he's saving fuel. I think he's just sticking behind him, and I think both the cars behind are happy to be looking at the back of the leader on lap, a third of the way into this race. There's no need to be leading when you can be right on the back of the leader and save more fuel from the leader. Because
Indeed.
It's all going to be about that final pit stop and getting as short a pit stop as possible.
Now, if for whatever reason you missed the start of this race, or you want some more action this week at the Brickyard, then fear not. The India 150 will be coming up, which is, well, simply put, 150 miles, so 250 miles will be 66 laps of the IMS. That's for guys who maybe couldn't make the pre-qualifying date, or who maybe didn't have the pace to make this race, and gives them a chance to race and potentially write themselves to the history books. But back to what is happening right now, the Indy 250, we are at 1/3 distance now. We've successfully done 33 laps. We started lap 34, so now these guys, they should be settled into their rhythm. We should see less mistakes, especially with how little cars are remaining compared to how many we started. But we're down to 16 runners, so exactly half the
Slow
field.
car on the back straight.
We have a slow car on the back straight, and this now pitting is like
Marcus Fernandez is pitting.
Fernandez, yeah. So he's pitted from P11. He's pitted from. So it doesn't have much significance to the battle for the lead. Will be interesting to see where he comes out, though. This is Riboli, who's in 10th place. Menadehan right behind him. Actually, no, Menadehan's not right behind him. He's a massive amount of time behind him.
Yeah, Meno was the slow
Here
car.
he is.
Right.
Menadehan was a slow car, so maybe he's having a throttle issue, but he's coming into pit road.
I think he's got no front wing. Yeah, he's got no front
Oh.
wing, so he's put it in the wall, and he's coming around to pit.
He's on. Look how much he's understeering, though. He might have crossed back onto the. He almost crossed back onto the track at turn 3, and he slowly trundles his way into pit road now, puts his limiter on, and will be able to keep hopefully racing, but is going to lose a lot of time. At the front, Carlos Martin has finally taken the lead. The Netrex car leads.
So we've missed that. We've
missed
him taking the lead, but so what I was saying about them not wanting the lead might not be correct.
They have a lapped car ahead of them now, so Martin will have a bit of slipstream for the time being. How quickly he clears this car ahead is going to be crucial. If he can't do it quickly, then he's going to get held up, and he might not just lose one place to Valente. These cars have so much momentum, and if you lose any, you're under pressure from multiple cars instead of just one as they come down the straight. But if anything, Valente is going to be the one relinquishing positions, because he's got Leonov right behind him, hungry for the position, hungry for the win as well.
There you go, straight through Martin on the lap traffic there. I think that, I'm not quite sure who that is.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure either. I think, yeah, I've got no clue. But it doesn't make much of a difference to the lead battle. They're side
Sean
by
Jones,
side
it's
right
Sean
behind.
Jones,
It's Sean Jones, okay. So it was actually our pole sitter, who is now fallen a lap down, gets out of the way of these two guys. And yeah, he gets the blue flag. Oh, he's cut his foot.
And yeah, that's good for Valente to be able to split in, because he was under pressure from Leonov there, who I think wants to get through and follow Martin now. Leonov wants to, I think they were sitting behind, and now Martin's bolted, and Leonov's been left behind.
Indeed he has, and through goes Leonov finally, but now that gap is just that little bit bigger. It's going to take a little bit more time to catch up. And
A bit of smoke up ahead as well. I think someone leaving the pits with a hot engine.
Hot engine, yes, certainly. It's smoking all down the straight.
Yeah, I think that might be Menadehan that just pitted, and he's left his engine on while pitting, and it's
Yeah.
got hot.
Or he was revving it while he was stationary in the box, waiting for his crewmen to lower him off his jacks and get him back into the race. Dehan has rejoined in 16th position, so 16 runners left. That's essentially last. But if you count the guys of DNF'd, he is exactly halfway down the order. And here's the move for second place, around the outside and through goes Ivan Leonov, and he takes second place. But look at the gap that his teammate Carlos Martin has already built.
2 seconds.
Absolutely
2 seconds in.
Disappeared.
What, a lap? So
lap and a half.
lap and a half. So
Disappeared.
it's Menadan gets out of the way very nicely. So he's not gonna be held up through the corner. And I think Leonov might have to push a little bit harder than he might want, or he might just let him go. So it's going to be interesting to see what Leonov does here.
These guys are still to pit under green flag as well.
That was... it's just dropped off. My time is screen. Valente into the pits.
Into the pits he comes. He was coming to the pits. That's why he was dropping off, losing position. So that now promotes Ivanov into the top 3. So Netrex have the podium completely locked out as it stands. In fact, there might even be one better than that, because Danny Van Der Neer is in 4th. So that's the top 4 positions locked out for Netrex. Not really a huge surprise to anybody. Valente stops in his box a bit unorthodoxly, but he gets there in the end. Might serve his penalty here as well. Don't know if the penalty is applied during or after the race. But let's see where he comes out. Let's see where he comes out relative to Ruben Martin. Remember, he pitted a few laps ago. And he was with Sven Gillihood, so let's see where they are in relation to him.
Martin is this guy, and he's in turn 3.
Yep. He's at turn 3.
So
Valente's
going to leave the pits and be well ahead.
Well ahead, yeah. Martin's probably just come onto the straight. And now getting up to speed, leaving pit road, comes the man who essentially ruined his chances of winning. And yeah, he's going to be comfortably ahead as he leaves pit road. Martin and Gillihood nowhere near him. Might just be able to see them nick past in the background, but Valente's rejoined in 12th position. I think it's 12th position. Yes, it is. Or actually, perhaps perhaps Martin and Gillihood were a lap ahead of him. It's possible. It's very possible that was the case. Yeah,
I think it more more technical difficulties.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna solve that. I think this is my game's end.
Oh, Netrex into the pits. Netrex is into the pits. Huge development. The race leader.
Yeah, so this is Martin leaving the pits now.
It's the race leader, yeah. It's the former race leader leaving the pits. Where does he come out relative to others who pitted? Vadanier's also pitted, I think, and is behind him on track. So he's left the pits. He's just going to get out ahead of that car, I think, if he has the speed. No, he comes out behind in the end. Just behind, but now he has a slipstream to help him.
Yeah, so Martin is stayed on the lead lap, so because he was the leader, he's not lost as much time to...
Yeah, so he's 6th. He's 6th.
Yeah, and here's
7th. Yeah, here we go. This is
Leonov, I think, leaving the pits now.
Leonov was in second place, inherited the lead when his teammate pitted, and now coming out of the pits. Where is he gonna come out relative to everybody else? Let's see. Victor Ivanov and
Martin's
Danny
gone through some. That's Martin that's just gone through turn 2 there.
So Carlos
Martin's on the back
there
straight,
he
and I think he's opened that gap up even more to Leonov now.
Yeah, that is enormous. That's a huge gap.
That's pretty much the entire straight.
That's at least half the straight. Yeah,
4 or 5 seconds gap already, and Leonov's not even up to full speed yet. So Martin's nailed that pit stop, and he's put himself in the lead. But actually, the leader at the moment is Wesley Burkout.
Yeah,
somehow, from somewhere.
I think
he must have pitted on a pit stop, and he's just going by himself. Pitted on under caution, and now has more fuel than the other guys, and is just going to hope for another caution, or hope that he has to do one last stop. So
His
Don't
tyres
count
will
him out.
be exactly. Don't never count him out. His tyres will be screaming a little more than those who've just pitted, though. That's the thing. But it seems that he might well be able to only complete one more pit stop. Everyone behind him has to do one pit stop as well. So this could well be the net race lead for Wes Burkhardt. He's going to be slower than the cars behind. He's got the gap, I think, about 13 seconds.
Alessandro Valente, blue flag.
And Valente, well, there you go. He was the race leader. He's now getting a blue flag.
So I really don't know how Valente's lost that much time on his stop. Because he's still a lap down, and he's been lapped by, I think...
That's Martin, I think, who just lapped him.
No, that wasn't Martin. That might have been Van der Neet. So he's been lapped by P5. So yeah, he's lost about a lap and a half since he pitted.
Yeah, 5 cars have lapped
two Burkhardt, though. So maybe more of just a lap and a bit.
Indeed, yeah. So I potentially had a lot of damage to repair in the pit stop.
Yeah, it did seem a long pit stop.
He's not been on the pace since that pit stop either, though. That's the dilemma. So what's happened to him will only become clear once he tells us once this race is finished. We still have 16 runners, by the way. Menardihan's still the last car running.
8 of them
on track.
on the lead lap, so half the field remaining is still on the lead lap.
That's pretty decent, if I must be honest. That's not a bad ratio. Considering we are approaching half distance, we've completed 46 of the 100 laps. We are on lap 47 of 100. Display says 48 or 49 out of 101 because the formation lap technically counts as a lap, but in terms of racing laps, just subtract 1 from both sides. So 2 more laps and we hit half distance in the inaugural SRL Indy 250. Been thoroughly entertaining so far. We've had some spectacular moves, some spectacular accidents, and I think the pit stop war really didn't seem that too dramatic. Martin simply just undercutting his teammates.
Yeah, so the gap's now 6 seconds, which wouldn't be, 1 lap undercut. So there's a little bit of just nailing the pit exit and nailing the pit entry, and it's just totaled up to being 3 seconds, which is a lot, but it's just impressive that Martin's been able to do that.
Yeah, it's not often that you have to practice your pit entries and exits, but it's absolutely critical here. And here we have a move on track. This is the battle.
This is just Rovers lapping Sean Jones.
It's a lapped car, yeah.
But I think these and Wesley has pitted.
The Wes has
Wesley's
pitted
in the pits.
In he comes. So if he made a pit stop during a caution, he has to pit again. But if he didn't, and this is his first pit stop, he's doing a one-stop strategy, which is unthinkable. But he's daring to do it. He's pitted at the half distance. He's pitted at the halfway point. Looks like quite a lengthy pit stop, so maybe he had some damage. So if he's going to the end, he is for certain a factor in this race. Carlos Martin and co, they'll pit around lap 75, lap 80, around that period of time. But let's see what happens now. So Wesley Burkhardt exits the pit lane. I think he's still on the lead lap. Nice and smooth in the exit, doesn't want to touch any grass, gets a lot of speed coming off, and will he will lose the position.
Yeah, he is 1 lap down. So he is actually a lap down to the leader.
That's Ruben Martin who's just overtaken him, I think, and Sven Gillehode, who he was... it's either... I think that's... No, sorry, that's Barros up ahead of him, and he's being lapped by...
Yeah, so he just got lapped by Leonov, yeah.
Yeah. So that's promoted everyone behind him up 1 position, which means that it's once again a NetRex 1, 2, 3, 4. Carlos Martin, Ivan Leonov, Victor Ivanov, and Danny Van der Nit. So exactly as they were when the pit window opened its doors.
I said at the start it was going to be NetRex. Just from the experience that they have, it's just gonna. Yeah, so the NetRex guys and Noah Rovers as well were the kind of two picks for experience that I thought were going to do well, and if you put those together, it's the top 5. So these guys have been kind of the class of the field, and they've got through the traffic, and now they're top 5. And Carlos Martin has kind of come from. I don't know where he started, but it was outside the top 10.
Yeah, outside top 20. Outside top 20.
Yeah, and is at the moment dominating this race, and just quietly was P2 and sat behind Valente, and then made his moment when he found a really good opportunity instead of just an opportunity. He got an opportunity that gave him a 3-second lead pretty much instantly, and is just nailed the pit stop, and now has a 7-second lead over his teammate in P2.
Yeah, so he's taken his luck, and he's absolutely made the most of it, and now he looks unstoppable. He's just increasing a gap bit by bit every lap. There's his teammate in the background. Just ever increasing the gap. It's not closing in, and it looks like Martin, unless he has a serious mishap, is on course to take the victory in this race. Which, if you were told he'd win it at the start, I don't think would surprise too many people. But will still be, nonetheless, a very good achievement for him, which means that he would, on top of winning his first championship that he entered, win his first special event that he enters as well. This, of course, being the first special event, non-championship event that has been held in SRL. And who knows? Maybe we'll have a SRL Triple Crown one day. But for now, we just have an Indy 250. Well, there will be more of these, of course. This is just the first, so that you get a bit of experience of what it's like, not just for the drivers, but for the admins and the owners as well. But Metrex have taken a huge grasp on it. Into the pits comes Sven Gillerhode from, it was the top 10, and he's going to rejoin in around 13th position.
And 2 laps down instead of 1 lap down. So pretty much every time you pit, you lose a lap. Sometimes. So he's got a penalty as well, so I think he sped, which doubles his issues. I just saw it as it went away at the top, so I think he's sped on pit road, and is now going to have to pit again. And yeah, he goes into the access road here, and he's going to serve a penalty for what I assume is pit lane speed limiting, pit lane speeding. So really unfortunate, and that's just one of the mistakes that is all too easy to make at this track. You're going from 220 mile an hour out of turn 4 to 110 maybe for pit lane speed, so 100. So I know it's usually faster than most tracks, so I think it's about 100, maybe 80 mile an hour. So yeah, he's really lost out here, and he's, I said he was 2 laps down, he's now 3 laps down. So, and he's going into a box as well, so it might even be a stop-go.
Might be a stop-go, yeah. Normally when you speed into the pits, it's at least a drive-through penalty. It's often one of the... It's cruel because you hardly gain any time from it. You gain maybe half a second, 1 second, and you lose...
and he's DNF'd. He's called it.
So he's called it quits, so we're down to...
and Valente retired
out as well.
So Valente must have just retired as well, because he's been classified ahead of Gilhood.
He led the early portion of this race, but has now, just over half distance, called it quits and parked his car in the garage not to leave again. So we're down to 12 runners. Or 13 runners we're down to. And caution counter is still at 2, which I have to say is impressive. Yeah,
it's... I guess it's, we had 2 big incidents at the start, so it's kind of taken out a lot of the field, so that when, because we saw like Moscato crash by himself and nobody passed him when he was spinning. So just, there was less cars in the field early on, and it's meant that there's less incidents.
Yep. Couldn't have put it much better. Of course, the more cars you take out of the equation, the less cars that are available to cause accidents.
Exactly.
And of course, everyone wants to finish this race, and everyone's going to spread out because they have different paces. So it takes normally someone to spin out and then get collected, which could have happened, but fortunately, Ross Moscato was nowhere near anybody when he had his moments. We are down to 40 remaining laps.
Sean Jones here, I think for a scheduled pit stop, he did a early pit stop towards the start of the race. I think he got a bit of damage, came in early to repair it, and has never recovered. And that seems to be the theme, is that these guys get damage or something that causes them to pit early, and it just puts them straight a lap down.
Yeah. And I mean, I think what happened with Jones was he got that damage. He dropped down the order, but then at the second restart, he got up to 9th, I think it was, and then went off again.
Yeah, he got all the way up to 6th, and he went down to 11th in the space of a lap, and just kept going backwards. So
yeah, that's when we were having the technical problems.
Yeah, something went wrong early, and he's just not been able to recover from it, which is really unfortunate because he took the pole. He's had pace, and it's not all the time you can say that with Sean Jones, so it's a shame that he's not been able to make the most of it.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, the objective now has switched from getting a result, I think, to just finishing the race now. For anybody who's left, it's normally your objective coming into long haul, grueling, tiring events like endurance racing as well. The main goal is get to the end.
Well, with this one caution and you're back in it. So yeah, there's that they've got to try and hold on. There's currently 3 cars, 1 lap down, and the rest of the field is more than that. So if you get enough cautions, you can get lucky, and you can make up 2-3 laps. Marcos Fernandez comes into the pits. He was the first car 1 lap down. So I think we're getting back into scheduled pit stop territory, so we're going to see the leaders soon as well.
Yeah, I think the leaders will probably come in, I said, around maybe lap 75, 80, so in 10 to 15 laps time they should come in for their, hopefully, final pit stops. Final scheduled pit stops, we can say that with confidence. Wesley Burkout, keep an eye on him. We don't know if he's making another pit stop. My guess would be that he's not, and that he's going to the end. Keep an eye out on him. Here he is now, in P8. He's got to try and not lose that time to the Netrexes up ahead, because if he loses that time to them, then he's never going to get it back, because they pit, they're on fresh tyres, they're going to be much, much faster than him. So we'll see how it plays out for him. He's got a bit of traffic up ahead as well. It shouldn't be too much of a problem. In fact, it's a bit of an age at that kind of distance. It's not enough to give you dirty air, but it's enough to give you a good bit of slipstream down the straight. Down each 1 mile straight. There's 2 of them, which make up the 4 kilometers of the circuit. It's quite hard to imagine that this track used to be, instead of fully concrete, fully bricks. It's made of bricks when it was first constructed. For a long time was raced that way as well. Hence its name, the Brickyard. In fact, the start-finish line is still completed with remaining bricks from the initial layout.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, because obviously...
penalty. Sorry to cut you off there. We have a penalty.
Yeah, so he just pitted, and that's going to be a pit lane speeding.
Yeah, so that's another stop. That's a stop-go or...
yeah.
Or a drive. We don't know if Sven pitted and then went to his pit because he escaped or because he decided during that.
Yeah, I think he would have boxed because he escaped or wanted to escape. So yeah, as I was saying, with the Brickyard, it's an interesting one because now every track you drive is tarmac or asphalt or rarely concrete, or maybe dirt. There's never bricks, which it's not a smooth surface. I don't think.
It could be smoother. We'll
Yeah,
put it that way.
like,
It could be a lot
it's-
smoother.
So it would definitely be challenging on cars even now. It'd be an interesting one to see the grip difference between a brick or tarmac, and how, let's say these tires would grip on bricks.
It's all about the grip, yeah. I'll tell you what, I'd love to see race cars racing on a high speed. It's very dangerous and very unrealistic and bad for the environment, but I'd love to see a racetrack made of plastic. and see some cars try sliding around on plastic. That would make my day. But that's very expensive, very unrealistic, and very stupid to even think about designing a track like that. But that would be pretty funny. I mean, someone could go in a simulation and do that and send me a video of it, and we'll see what it looks like. But
What about jelly?
oh my. No, okay. This is escalated already.
All right, back on topic. I think we have another technical difficulty, because it's said that Ruben Martin had a penalty, and the last 3 times I've seen someone enter the pits, they've exited with a penalty. So I think it's confused the game. Or everyone speeds in the pits.
It's possible. It's unlikely, but it's possible.
We'll have to see if he does. He's done 2 laps, which would give him, I think R Factor 2 gives you 5 laps to serve a penalty. So he's got 3 more laps to serve a penalty, and we'll see if he does come into the pits.
If you've just joined us or you've been watching since the start, thank you very much for tuning in to the inaugural SRL Indy 250. We are 3/4 almost of the way through laps 70 of 100. So it's lap 71 of 100 now. We are on 30 laps remaining. Certainly been entertaining. We still have one more round of pit stops to go. Do you think Wes is going to one-stop? I think he's one-stopping. I don't know if he can make it last, because we had 2 cautions in the first 50 laps, and so far in the last 50 we've had 0. So no chance to save fuel,
I don't
chance to save tires.
I don't think he can do it. I think if he managed to do it with the cautions, because he went to lap 51, which is exactly halfway, and he did that with, I think, five laps of caution. So if he didn't pit under caution, which we're not sure if he did or did not, unfortunately, I don't think there's any way we can check. But so it's I don't think he can do it unless he really saves and really goes slow for the last 2 laps, which is a strategy. But he's also already 1 lap down, so he's going to be barely in front of the leader by the time that Carlos Martin pits and comes back out again, if he is still in front.
Yeah, exactly. If Martin gets out in front of him, there's no chance that Wes is going to get back in front. Especially seeing as Martin's just pit. Even if they were on the same fuel load, same tyres, it would be difficult to pass somebody like him. He's completely dominated.
Yeah, Martin's pace at the moment is insane. I think
scarily.
I just saw one other. He's doing 39s, and I've seen one other 39 from anyone else. Ivanov does have the fastest lap, but it's by tenths, and Martin's doing laps almost identical to that, and he's just sat by himself. He's just done a 39.9, which is 2 tenths off the fastest lap with nobody else in sight. He's just taking it easy and just pulling out that gap by 1-2 tenths a lap, and it's up to 9 seconds to his teammate, which on an oval is 2 tenths is impressive, considering they're nearly flat out the entire lap.
And there's only 4 turns that kind of lead into each other. Turn 1, you go your wide line, and the exit feeds into the wide line needed for the entrance for turn 2, so they kind of feed into one another. So it's essentially 2 turns. So it makes it all the more impressive. We don't know the situation with lapped cars around them and if they've been negotiating that, because we haven't really seen it on camera, but just the numbers speak for themselves. Been a commanding performance from every Networks car still in the race.
Yeah, still 1, 2, 3, 4. You can't do much better. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is the best you can do.
And one of the
And
cars
they've got
was,
the top 6.
one
One of the
was
cars
wiped out
was flipping
spectacularly.
down the front straight,
Yeah.
along with 3 other cars.
That
I'm
reminded me-
not sure what happened to some of the others, or if they actually didn't start or got wiped out in a different incident. I'm not sure.
That crash really reminded me of when Pagano and Norris had their collision, Askew and Ferrucci. This is all virtual, by the way. When they had the virtual Indy race, all the collisions that happened there. Because I just remember Askew's car flipping like that, Netrex did. But the Netrex really took it to a new level. I think it was Rimmett who was the one flipping out of control. Must have flipped about 40 times.
So, yeah, it was all the way to pit entrance from the exit of turn 4. So you definitely got shaken up there with the even with like force feedback on the wheel as the wheel
Even
hits the
though-
ground each time.
Even though it's a virtual race, it wouldn't surprise me at all if the driver was killed in that accident. It wouldn't surprise me if Rimmett was dead, and he's not even driving a car in real life. It wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. But
On this topic, remember a couple of during like the start of lockdown when there was that Monza oval race with the NASCARs, the one where Kyle Larson did his thing.
yeah.
Did you see that? Did you see? I think it was Jordan Taylor. He had a motion rig, and he crashed. And it broke, and the motion rig went upside down.
I didn't see that. No.
Yeah, he either tipped on his side or went fully upside down, and he was just sat just in his seat upside down on his simulator.
That's pretty hardcore. That's pretty hardcore. I'm gonna be honest. I mean, that's the kind of thing. If you try and replicate it, might be difficult to do that. If you purposely try to crash and get that kind of force, but we'll see. Anyway, currently we are looking at. I think it's Leonov that this is, lapping a few cars. In stream chat, if you guys don't mind, those still watching, just comment who do you think is going to win. I think majority, not most, is going to say Martin, but it takes one
Full
caution.
course yellow.
Oh, speak of the
Speak
devil.
of the
we have a
devil,
full
and
course yellow.
it does appear. So
The 1 second after I said it, we have a caution. Everyone must slow down and bunch up. This race just got interesting. So Carlos Martin, the last 50 laps of hard work, determination, and pure brilliant pace has it might as well not happened. Because now the gap to his teammate is going to be completely significant.
Ivanov pits.
Here we
Well,
go.
Wesley,
Floodgates,
everyone
floodgates
comes
open.
into
Everyone's
pits.
pitting, yeah. Wes is pitted, so he's abandoned the one stop. Rightfully so, because he would have been a sitting duck. Everybody who had the chance to pit now floods in. This is Victor Ivanov. He's now.
I don't know what caused the safety the full course yellow, but we'll have to have a look at that.
Yeah, he's now very much in contention now, Ivanov. And are his teammates in the pits?
Yeah, so Martin's now just entered the pits.
Okay. Now, Martin is able to go full speed practically, I think, for about a lap or two after it's called. You have to wait. It's to slow down eventually and wait for everyone to bunch up. So he should retain his lead. He should.
Yeah, well, I think Ivanov is the first car out of the pits, and he's in turn 4. So it's going to be if Ivanov can get to the exit of pit road on the exit of turn 2 before Martin can, who is just exiting the pits now. So it seems like Martin should keep his lead, but Ivanov could even be P3.
Ivanov's overtaken Van der Neer, who is also pitted.
Yeah, Ivanov was already ahead, so I think these guys are going to be in the same order than they came out in.
Please.
And there you go. You could just see Leonov in the background there. So This is the order then. So Carlos Martin leads the race still, but his lead is now completely vanished to Ivan Leonov in second place. Not someone you want to see in your mirrors. Victor Ivanov is third. Danny Vanderneer is fourth. Netrex 1, 2, 3, and a 4. It's been very commanding since the early stages. Noah Rivers, I don't think I've mentioned him all race, but he's been doing a very solid and quiet job in P5 for the majority of this afternoon.
Yeah, I've been watching him. I've mentioned him a couple of times as, yeah, he was the other guy, along with the Netrex guys, who I felt were, yeah, those experienced guys that were just gonna somehow magically find themselves in the top 5 from nowhere.
Yeah.
So I think I'm not surprised he's there, and if we can get these kind of top 6 guys, they're all fast. They can all fight each other here, so it's going to be really interesting.
I don't know why
you are in front of
the caution was called, but Menadahan has retired in the last few laps, so I presume it was related to him.
Correct.
But anyway, back towards the...
I'm not sure either.
Back towards the order. Ruben Martin, 6th place. Marcos Fernandez, 7th.
Joe dropped down.
Joe Gostit, it is for FRA Sim Racing in 8th. Wesley Burkout is in 9th. So he is where he was before, but now he's on the same I guess, freshness of tires as everyone, except
Danny, catch up to the back, please.
Except
and Noah, Ruben, and the rest
he
of the
would
pack.
have been. I think it's fair to say
Joe
he would have
waits
leapfrogged a
for
few
Marcos,
positions
who we will
once
go
everyone
behind.
else pitted, but making that one stop work was going to be tough. We can ask him afterwards if he wanted to one stop, if that was his plan, if he thought he could make it. But right now he sits 9th on fresh
Marcos
tires.
is the
Ottavio
top
Barros.
One
car
lap
in
down.
front.
He's 1 lap
So
down.
He is
although
1 lap
you
down,
went
yeah.
to
I think they will be allowed to unlap though.
let the next
Once
car go
Yeah.
as well.
Anthony gives us
They
a
might
Ruben, go in front.
still be like half a lap down by the time that they get going. I'm not quite sure if they can get all the way
Yeah,
around.
we'll see. We'll
And you're
see.
in the correct position, Joe.
I think race director Anthony Nickman's just waiting for everyone to line up, and then he's going to allow
Yeah.
the cars to go. I think that's how it's done in real life. That's how it will be done here. So with 20 laps to go, we have suddenly a caution
Wesley,
out of
please drop down
nothing.
behind Joe.
I think it's fair to say out of absolutely nowhere. You didn't see it on camera.
let you know
Didn't see anything happening on the timing screens, but caution was called. So, the situation we are in, as it is now, this now looking at
Ottavio, leave a
Wesley
space in front of
Burkout, who has jumped up to 5th position now, actually. So,
So timing screen updates, and he must have been given his lap back instead of driving around.
yeah, he's been.
So now he's dropping
to
back
fifth.
down to 9th,
Ottavio, wait.
where he was.
Slow down,
Okay,
Ottavio.
yeah.
Leave a space for Wesley.
So that's how it's been done there. Instead of making
Wesley, in
everyone
front
unlap
of you, in
themselves.
front of that car. Yeah.
Yeah, Wes is being told, he's being guided who to go, who to slot in behind, and he does so accordingly and slots into 9th position, ahead of Barros and behind Gaustitis.
Ottavio, drop down 2 positions, please.
So, contemplation time, I guess.
We'll be
on,
going at the end of lap 83.
So,
by the
Anthony
way.
says the end of lap 83 that we'll be going, so we'll have 17 laps of green flag
Correct.
racing, hopefully fully green flag rather
Harry
than another
Smith, drop
caution
down
interruption.
to the back of the pack, please.
It's only
Same with
the
Sean
third
Jones, if you
it's only
haven't
the
already.
third caution we've had. They've been well behaved.
Yeah, well, it's obviously having those first 2 big accidents at the start has helped, and I think after that everyone realizes, oh, I need to calm down a little bit, especially on turn 1. If the guys that were almost involved in that or
And the
got
positions
lucky
are correct. We'll be
would
going
have
at the end
immediately
of
been like,
this
I need
lap.
to calm down, and it's a 100-lap race, and I almost ended it on
Danny,
lap 1,
please catch up to the pack.
and some other people did, so just gotta survive, and that's how these top 5 are the top 5, is they have survived. So
Menno has just DM'd me on Discord saying that he had a massive crash.
Ah.
So that will be why we had the caution.
yes, yeah.
I'll ask again, P4, please catch up to P3 so the pack isn't as spread out.
Right. This is, I think, the last lap under caution. It is the last lap under caution. They've got 2 more corners, and then Carlos Martin will be given the signal by the race director to control the field, which means he can go whenever he wants, as long as it's before the start line. And as soon as he goes, the green flag waves and everyone else has to follow suit. He's got 2 not just 2, everyone behind him are very experienced with these kind of situations. So he's going to have to be cheeky, going to have to be clever. It's going to take a lot to outsmart the guys behind him. They're all teammates as well, but they are all in their own individual calls.
Probably not go under cooldown again unless there's another
Anthony Nippon saying,
due to there being 5 laps to go.
Anthony Nippon is saying that
leader, you are ready to go green.
The caution cooldown, of course, is 10 laps, so we cannot have another caution until lap 95. And the signal has been given to Carlos Martin to control the field. He's going to bunch some of these.
And he's gone green.
There he goes. There he goes.
Back to green flag racing. It's not a amazing jump like we saw from Sean Jones at the start of the race. And Leonov is already right behind. Has a little bit of a look, but doesn't do anything.
But yeah, I thought it was quite a good one, but no. Immediately caught by his teammates. I thought he timed to perfection. Because the cars behind him were weaving around, and then suddenly, boom, on the accelerator.
Yeah, these two have
and he has
pulled the crash in the background as well.
He has caught everyone out behind. Harry Smith has gone into the wall.
That was Marcos Fernandez.
It's Fernandez, yeah. Smith was the one passing him. So Marcos Fernandez losing his front wing. Back at the front, Martin's lead. Look at the gap that they've built already. That is monstrous for a lap. So he did get a good restart, but Leonov got an equally good one. And now down the straight to start lap 85 of 100. 16 laps to go. Carlos Martin leads, but his lead is gone. That it was 10 laps ago. It was 9 seconds. It's now under half a second as Ivan Leonov, his teammate, tries to get past. There's that scattered debris from that accident that we were seeing a lap ago with Fernandez.
I think Fernandez and Gauditis were involved because Gauditis is now in the pits as well.
Yeah, so it was probably his
Lenov's
as well.
Oh, Leonov slides through turn 3 there.
Big slide. Yeah, that was
and that's going to cost him 2 tenths.
Please watch out so you don't crash.
So now he was probably close enough.
Yeah, he was close enough to be able to make a move into turn 1, but that slide just cost him 2 tenths. Lost him momentum, and he's going to have to try and build it back up, and he's got to do no mistakes because Martin's the fastest car. I think everyone kind of knows that. So Leonov has to make it, and he has to make the move as fast as he possibly can.
There's a reason that Martin led this race for so long and was constantly able to increase his gap because he is so fast and precise. And he's got to make this count as well because not only is he giving Martin a chance to pull away, he's giving a chance for the cars behind to catch up if Martin is slow. So he's got to get this one done as quickly as he can, but Martin is quicker. By the looks of it, the slipstream is the only thing stopping the Netbricks from disappearing. Again, the gap is visually much bigger than it was on the previous lap. So Leonov, has he missed his opportunity with that one tiny mistake?
I think he's missed it. He's dropped too far back.
That's oval racing, one tiny mistake, and you lose everything. It's not like a road course where there's so many corners and technical sections and different places where your skill matters. No, on an oval, it's one corner on repeat all the time. And that slide, he's, I think, maintained roughly a gap on this lap. But again, this gap is not going to help him close in. It's not going to win in the race.
Yeah, so 6 tenths at the start of last lap, and it's still 6 tenths. Leonov was a little bit faster by about half a tenth that last lap. So he's closer
this time.
He's really close now. It's 3 tenths now. He's halved it in turn 1 and 2.
Yeah, he's had a bad first sector. Leonov using the slipstream. That half a tenth would have gained him a lot of time on the straight with the slipstream. That's the fine margins we work with. Half a tenth gained on one lap, you're that much closer. And the slipstream, where it's exponential, the closer you get, the more power. Look at that. Carlos Martin knows he's there.
Martin's realised now that he needs to do something about Leonov.
He's in trouble if he doesn't react, and he has reacted, and I think he's managed to hold it back. And there you go. That's why these guys have to get a move on, because a new fastest lap has just been set by
Noah Rovers, who's in 5th place. So the 3 cars behind line astern, hoping to close up to these guys. I don't think they're dueling. I think they're
They might, yeah.
being cautious. They're just lined up, and
they either duel and concede the fact that they're not going to catch these guys, or they hope these guys start fighting and they can catch up. And they'll become a
they're going to hope that
battle.
they fight.
Yeah, so again, Martin moving aggressively to the left-hand side of the main straight, trying to break that toe. It's roughly the same gap as we saw last lap around, and it's that perfect distance. He's not quite close enough coming down the back straight to get alongside, and he's got the dirty air to contend with for the next 2 corners before he gets onto the straight. He's close, though. He's close.
This could be good.
Right up to the left.
Almost.
It's
Not.
so close.
He needs another half a tenth on the exit of turn 2.
But to Carlos Martin. He's
again,
so agonizingly close.
you go into turn 3 and you lose all that time because you've got that dirty air. So he needs to. I think he needs to take. He almost did it. We thought that he was dropping back, but I think he was dropping back on purpose and has lost. He needs to pull out more to get a run, not through, not just out of turn 2, but out of turn 4 and through turn 1 and 2.
He's running out of time. 9.5 laps to go. 9.5 for him to do something here. And again, he's going to get so close. He's going to practically sniff the gearbox of his teammate, but he can't go for the move. And now the dirty air is going to just cancel out that slipstream progress in the next 2 corners as they thunder through, and it's honestly a rinse repeat. It's a rinse repeat, but I think the cars behind are slowly closing in. I don't know if they'll have enough laps.
It's roughly the same. They're not doing enough. They need these guys to fight.
Yeah, and they don't have enough laps either.
Yeah, I think Leonov's doing what I said here because he's dropped back to half a second. I think he's just trying to hang back through turn 3 and 4 this time, and then get a run from turn 3 to turn 1 to turn 3, sorry, so like an entire lap of closing in rather than half a lap of closing in, so he gets even more speed out of turn 2 towards turn 3.
It's the same again though. To the left goes Martin, then back to the right as they cross the line. Leonov, he's close here. That's the closest he's ever been into the first corner. If he can carry the momentum through these corners, he's done it through the first corner. If he can keep the momentum, he's out wide and slowing down, he's not going to be close enough again. If he was able to carry that momentum through 2 corners, he would certainly have been alongside Martin.
Oh yeah, of course. But
he can't do it.
He can't get out of turn 2 and turn 4.
He's struggling, yeah. 2 and 4 is where he struggles. Through turn 4 they come now. On lap 93, we've got 7 laps to go. Carlos Martin continues to lead. He's led since, I think it's lap 30. He's led this event, and he is one where if you're in a high pressure scenario, you want him in the car rather than anyone else because he's so good under pressure. Right, I've just realised that my iPad's going to run out of battery, so I've got to quickly go and grab the charger.
Gonna come down. 6 laps to go. It's half a second between the front 2. It's be 6 laps to go as they cross the outer bricks. And again, trying to break the toe. And Leonov's not closed in that much that last straight. So I think he's trying to do something different and trying to, like I said a couple laps ago, gets an entire lap of slipstream and close in faster. And it was good out of turn 2. He's almost within a tenth, and he's almost, again, he needs another half a tenth. That was almost the same as maybe 3 or 4 laps ago when he had a similar look into turn 3, and he just can't do it. He needs to be half a tenth closer out of turn 2.
And this gets more and more painful every lap because it's the same thing, lap after lap. Just
it's 5 to go.
Too close, but also too far. 5 laps to go. Martin has only got to hang on for another 20 kilometers.
I think that was good. I think that was good out of turn 2.
This might be it. Martin knows it too. He's staying to the left more than usual.
They're going to be side by side into turn 3. Almost.
No,
he just can't hang it around the outside.
And he's lost out big time there. He was on the outside. He didn't turn in early enough. And he might not be able to go for it.
So this is still good. This is still good. It's still 3 tenths. So it's going to be
There's a car
again.
in the pits to the
He's
right.
going to juke him out to the inside. It's going to be really
It's a
tight. He
tiny
lifts off.
house.
He
Whoa.
lifts off.
If he'd gone for that, that would have been for sure the bravest move I've ever seen. That was absolutely...
I thought for sure he was going to just keep it flat and hope that they didn't collide.
Great
That's
great racing, great defending
respect
from
between
Martin
the two
as
of
well,
them
yeah.
right there.
Great
To
defending from Martin.
not just send it at the inside. I'm almost like I'm shocked that he did
Yeah,
not send it.
I can tell in your voice, but he's running out of laps now, Leonov. He backed out of
Yeah,
that one, but he's not
I
going to get
thought
many more
that was going to be his best
He's got
opportunity.
He's got
and
6 more chances.
He went. I'm not going to wreck my teammate. I'm going to finish this race. We're going to both finish this race rather than neither of us not
He's
finishing.
got 3 more. He's got 3. There's 3 laps. There's 1 opportunity gone. He's got 5 more chances, and the guys behind are closing in. That's cost them a lot of time. That one little battle has cost them a lot of time. The guys behind are, I guess, within slipstream range now. Just about. You could probably make a case for Viktor Ivanov nicking the slipstream off of Ivan Leonov. This battle for the lead. Was that the chance?
That was the chance. We're going to come down to 2 laps to go here,
2 laps,
and it's
4 more
half a
chances.
second between the top 2.
It's
I
too far
don't
for
think
the
it's
time being.
enough.
He's doing the same thing, Martin, just moving from left to right. It's the same spots every lap as well. He's got.
Yeah,
this
he's just kind of
defensive thing.
almost in like a rhythm of driving
he's-
defensively.
This is a defensive masterclass from Carlos Martin. His teammate's close though, coming off the corner.
Yeah, it's
He's
close, but
close.
it's not going to be enough. It's just whether he can hang on. We're going to be coming down to 1 lap to go, and if
If he can't hang on,
if he's 3/4 tenths behind out of turn 4,
that's good. That's good through turn 3 by the looks of it.
no,
he's a bit slow on the
he
exit, yeah.
lost
He's
it on the
just-
exit, and it's now
he's
down to half a
understeering,
second.
and then
So
he
he has
understeers
turn
and
3
lift
to do it. He has turn 3. now.
Yeah, it's not going to happen in turn 1. They're battling for 4th
Yeah,
as
there's
well.
7 tenths the gap now. So he's got to be perfect through turn
The
1 and 2,
final lap.
and
We
hope
start
that
the
Martin
final lap.
has pressure and feels the pressure and maybe makes a mistake out of turn 2. But it looks good. I think
It looks
Martin's
good
got
for
this. The
Carlos
gap
Martin,
is
yeah.
6 tenths out of turn 2.
He's got
And
2
it's
more
going to
laps to
take a
go.
miracle
He's going
to stop
defend.
Martin from winning this race.
He's going to keep defending the way he's been defending since this caution ended 15 laps ago. It's been a valiant effort from Leonov. It's been a valiant effort from everybody to
Yep.
try and unsettle this man. But the Formula 3 champion is going to withhold his status, and he comes around the last corner. He's dominated most of this race, and now Carlos Martin takes victory at the Brickyard and wins the SRL Indianapolis 250 with a drive of superlatives, both attacking and defensive masterclasses from his teammate. A valiant effort from Leonov, though. Some epic respect and racing between those guys, driving in formation now on the cool-down lap. He finishes 2nd. 3rd place in the end went to Danny van der Neert.
Third was
Victor
Ivanov.
Victor Ivanov,
Yeah.
my bad. Danny van der Neert finishing 4th. So Netrex 1, 2, 3, and 4. You can't dominate much more than that. I mean, supreme, absolutely supreme from the Dutch-Italian outfit. They won the Constructors' Championship in Italian F3, and they've dominated this race as well. This is a nice picture to see all these cars in formation. That's really nice to see. Congrats on all the cars who finished, and in the end, so Noah Rivers 5th. Sean Jones recovered to 6th place in the end.
Yeah, very, very good from Sean
So
Jones.
well done from him at the end.
Obviously had lots of... We knew he had pace, but just got unlucky early on and lost track possession and just kind of ended up stuck a lap down because there just wasn't any cautions for about, I think it was maybe 60, 70 laps between cautions. So.
A long time, yeah.
And
A
obviously
very long time.
he was slightly off sequence, so he did 2 stops under green, whereas the leaders only did 1. So I think Sean's definitely going to be happy with being to be able to recover to 6th, and
Yeah.
they're going for another lap. These guys, another formation
they're so good,
finish
yeah.
lap.
They've done over 100. Now, Ruben Martin ended up finishing in 7th place, 8th for Barros, 9th for Smith, 10th Wesley Burkout. I think he'll be a bit disappointed, especially seeing as he started 9th on the restart. 10th place for Wes, 11th for Joe Alstitis. I can't say the name, I'm sorry. After that collision with Fernandez, who finishes 1 spot behind him, we had 32 starters, we have 12 finishers, and only 3 cautions, which I must say is fantastic discipline from all drivers. So we've done it. The Indy 250 is complete. I'm sure race director Anthony Nickpon's very happy. I'm certainly happy for him that he's been able to oversee this as the league owner as well. Here's a look at all the DNFs, a huge list of them. The most spectacular of accidents taking out Indrik Rimitz, Alex Hallows, and Jake Dennehan as well. And these two, Kent Bumsey and Carl Motorsport, did not really complete more than one corner before being taken out. But yeah, that's been the Indy 250. Late drama, fantastic racing all the way round. I certainly enjoyed it, Jacob.
No, it was a really good finish between the teammates there. And yeah, it's been a great race. It's even kind of in the middle of the race, it wasn't too bad when everyone was spread out. There was always something to talk about, and yeah, it's a return to commentary for me. I've not done it for a couple of months, and a return to broadcasting, and it's been a interesting race for both of those. And
was the last time you did that with me by chance?
Yes, I think it was the last round of Formula SRL was the last time I commentated. Okay. So yeah, a couple of months off and I'm back, and it's very, very good race. Lots of respect. I'm still almost speechless from Leonov not destroying his teammate into turn one. Yeah, so it's really good from all the drivers. I think some of them will be unhappy. The guys taken out on lap one, the guys taken out in that massive accident. Yeah. But I think everyone can just kind of look back on the event and not be too unhappy with how the entire event turned out. I think the guys have done a good job, Anthony and all that.
Yeah, massive thanks for the organisation and all of that, and some good racing as well. So well done to any drivers who finished the race, all 12 of them. And I think we don't have any interviews to do, so that's going to be it, I think, for the event. It's the first, but certainly not the last special event that SRL will do, and who knows, we might have a triple crown there. But Carlos Martin, again, the race winner, again in the spotlight. And we leave today with some good memories. Certainly, that's for sure the biggest crash I've ever seen on an SRL race. Probably will be for a long time. But yeah, we hope that you've enjoyed it as much as me and Jacob have, unless Jacob has any closing words.
Are we interviewing Carlos?
I don't know. If he...
he's wanting one, I think.
He wants one, okay. I don't have perms on the TeamSpeak to drag him in, so...
Yeah, I think he's in the Discord one. I think he's not in...
Oh, he's in the Discord one, yeah.
Yeah. So we can't do that because that's not how we're recording the audio. We're recording it on TeamSpeak.
Yeah, there's a slightly better quality, but yeah, that will do it then. So we thank you very much for watching, whether you watched the last 2 laps or you watched all 100 laps. Thank you nonetheless, and we will see you very shortly. Some big announcements coming up about the upcoming series as we move away from Italian Formula 3, and we will see you very soon. But for the meantime, from me and Jacob, it's a very passionate goodbye.